Hey you guys, and welcome back to Steel Wars. I am Steel Saunders, and I do love Star Wars, and we are joined in the post Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1 glow with my buddy and yours. It's Hawes Burkhardt from the Blue Harvest podcast. And dude, it's been a while since we've done a video thing, I feel like. Your video game has just stepped up. For the audio listener on the podcast, you're missing out on a very high-end amateur presentation at Hawes' End.
Buddy, I've been taking that streaming a little more seriously. I had to get my big boy pants on. Look at my setup.
Really? Okay. It's very impressive. But we are here. I'm actually I'm back in Australia. There's a spoiler. So I don't have products around me, or I'm not sounding that well because I don't have a microphone. But to make up for the lack of having all my normal collectibles, I pulled one out, Hawes. There's no way you'll be able to guess this. I have got a Power of the Jedi Qui-Gon Jinn in Jedi training gear.
Buddy, that's awesome. What a random one to pull out. My dude, the fact that you have... that's why we're friends, buddy. You could have pulled... At my mother-in-law's house. Oh, even better. You could have pulled out a Darth Maul carded Qui-Gon from Phantom Menace, and every one of us has one of those kicking around in a closet somewhere. But Jedi training gear Qui-Gon, where is he even from? We don't know, but I got the figure too.
And it looks like the art's been done by an AI bot.
It does, kind of, doesn't it?
It's very odd. Very odd. Now, Hawes, we have not spoken about our thoughts and or feelings. You go first.
Buddy, the minute it really kicked in, I was like, oh, this is good. This is good to be back to. I like this. This is really good. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. Swamp Thing alien, huh? Woo.
Are you waiting for what I'm going to say? Where do you think
I think you're going to fall in if I had to
You do the show for me. I'm jet lagged.
Okay. So this is what Steele would say. I think he said, listen.
I need an Australian accent, thanks.
I'm not Johnny Grasso. I am not going to do that.
Okay.
So this is what I see. I see Steele saying, look, I had my issues with the way they handled Grogu coming back so quickly. We all knew he was going to come back, but they could have held on to it. It would have made the reunion even sweeter. This was a fun episode. I had a ball watching it. That's what I think Steele would say.
You're pretty spot on.
I know my buddy.
I had a great time, but my emotional investment
lessened.
Nah, it is the way of the Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, so question marks. If we're being real positive.
We all hope it will come back.
Oh, sir, boy, do we.
But buddy, right now it ain't happening.
I don't know, man. Listen, seeing Grief Karga show up with specialized droids to carry his cape. You know what I mean?
I popped huge for the cape droids.
Really good. Really good.
It's somewhere Krennic's just need them. That's what you get. That's what you get Krennic for Christmas.
Let me ask you this. For the first 3 or 4 minutes, did you think we were experiencing a Lost style flashback until Din showed up in the ship?
No, because someone tweeted something out about the premiere that I knew there was no flashbacks.
Okay, because see, I was watching it going,
which is just like always. They can never not give the little spoiler, even when you're not giving. It's
yeah, that's a little annoying. Oh, I'm dancing around the spoiler, but I'm giving the spoiler. Because I thought I was like, oh, this must be when Din sort of officially became a Mandalorian as a kid, and then
got helmed up.
Yeah, when his ship flew, and I was like, wow, they really pulled one over on me.
How's it how the whole quest for the season is that he has a bobber bath?
Right? And
he just wants a real sweet jacuzzi. The jacuzzi of forgiveness.
So, and part of his little side quest is he's got to find some special part for IG-11. I like that. All right. I'll watch that.
Yeah, the cynical side of me with IG-11, it's just like, oh my god, you're undoing 2 finales.
Well, so I say well, but he's coming back. Like I was about to say, maybe it doesn't work. Like they wouldn't set that up for it not to work in
some form. I thought for a second that when that other droid dropped the thing to kill him or to stop him, I do have to say the Terminator sequence was dope.
That alone kind of made it worth it to me too, because I was like, well, listen, we saw that boy blow up in lava. Like, how much can there really be left of him? That's kind of what I was thinking at the time. And then when they did that whole Sam Raimi scene,
dude, no, before that, Din, he pulled a Jebediah Springfield. Went into the town square and just cut the statue in half.
Oh, dude, and they literally did the Cara Dune died on her way back to her home planet. Did you notice that?
She got recruited. She's in the special forces.
No, you got recruited.
I was dying laughing.
I like to imagine
special forces. We can't talk. It's top secret. We can't mention it. That was the best bit.
I when he was like, essentially, where'd she go? Oh, she went off to be in her own show. And Den was like, oh, okay, I'd watch that. And he was like, no, you wouldn't. Do you have Twitter? And was like, he's like, oh, it's for the best.
There was one line where Din goes, oh, what about hitting up the New Republic for a Ranger? And it's like, nah, bro. Got canned. We tried.
Nope.
That was the opening bit with the christening or whatever. I recorded a reaction thing, but I'm not sure if I'll put it up or not because it's sort of recorded so averagely. But I was dying laughing during it because, first of all, when it popped out, sweet, awesome, like just classic, like Mando creature. I am fascinated from someone that is a Hollywood set insider Hawes,
right?
You know, if you want Grey's Anatomy season 19 spoilers,
hey man, that would hold a lot of social cachet with my sister and my mom. So,
oh my god, I'm actually shocked at how much people love that show. It's
19 seasons.
Yeah, right. But anyway, I'm fascinated with how they did the set with the water.
Oh,
like the integration with the background, which I presume was in the
volume,
and then the water. Like that's like that's a lot of electrical stuff and a pool nearby. That is very concerning.
I'll also say I feel like this episode showed a clear jump in quality too. Like, not that the quality of the 2 seasons before in Book of Boba was always was like overall bad, but I think this really showed sort of the popularity of this show, and I bet you they had quite a bigger budget or something. Like, compare the space battle, right, from this episode to that very first space battle we saw in season 1, where the random guy's chasing Din at the beginning, and he's like, I can bring you in hot or I can bring you in cold, and Din's like, hey man, that's my line. Huge difference in space battle budget.
It was dope, and a big creature. But anyway, back to the creature thing, right? When they all shot the cables at the big thing, I was just instantly, no, that's not gonna work. Like, what do you hope to get? If you just want to hurt it, like, just send the spear, like, disengage. Like, that's gonna end up really bad. Like, you've been a Mandalorian forever. I've just seen, like, I don't know, like 16 and a half episodes of your show. And I know this is going to work out terribly, dudes. Like, let's just, like, chill on that one. But it was very fun to watch. Like, bad strategy. Should we run through some of the comments? Just, and then, and this will help us talk about stuff. Dylan Dagnell says, Babu Freak was my favorite part. Do have to say, apart from the plot, like ignoring the plot, like everything with the little Babu Freaks.
Loved it.
The little door.
The bit. Like, I was wondering.
Wait. I just have to say this. My one criticism was, the door seemed a lot smaller on the outside than it did on the inside.
Mm-hmm. I kind of noticed that too. I was like, when I was watching, I was like, kind of wonder if people are going to hate this like comedy bit between Din and the little Babu Fricks and Grief, like with the communication. I loved every time they went back to that bit, man.
It just kept on giving. As I say, you can easily like visual guide and say they went down to the garage, like it's further down in but that just could have gone on for the rest of the episode for as far as I was concerned.
When Grogu grabbed the one and he's like, hey man, it's not a pet, I was like, oh, Grogu, he's just like me for real.
Now, with that bit, and this is my like entire vibe complaint with the whole episode, he's no different.
Meaning Grogu?
Like, he went to Jedi school. Apparently, we found out today, up to 2 years. No, there's another clip. Do you know there's a clip from the premiere, and someone asked, like, hey, can you clarify what you meant? And he goes, yeah, it's like about the same time. It's, up to 2 years. He says, like, he actually does mean it's the same time. Wow. The time for us is the same for them.
So, okay, so if that's the case, right, then he was...
Hey, mate, it's the case.
Okay, but yeah, listen, hear me out, bro. Okay, so if that's the case, if the time all lines up with us, then Mando Season 2 ends in December of 2020. Book of Boba Fett starts December 31st the next year. So that means the time between those two shows would be about a year, right? So Grogu's been with Luke a year at that point. But then does that mean that they have been reunited for a year now? I think that's... I don't know, man. It's timeline stuff. It's all confusing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, there's no... Like, he went to Jedi school for a year.
Mm-hmm. And there's no difference. I totally see what you mean. I agree.
And there's just no change of discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And when I said discipline, that I did hear my fatherly...
I heard it a little bit too, but I was just going to let it slide.
Anguish of like, it is hard to it is hard to learn how to like instill discipline whilst like not being a
angry dad.
Or no, just 100% vibe checker. Like just
right.
like your job is to vibe check. Yeah, you yeah, like apart from the anger, you got it. Like that's
Like, it can't be a thing.
you
Shouldn't
you
be a thing.
you save that for talking to your significant other after someone else is asleep.
Right. Right.
But Din has no one to talk to.
Or
Hey,
if you're my buddy Will, you talk to your buddy Halls about it while you're playing
that's
Fortnite.
True. That's true. The other little like I do think they're leaning a bit hard into Grogu-ness. Like just like the Babu, like all that stuff, like everything else was really good apart from he has not developed. But like as entertainment value, I enjoyed it. I did think if you're getting chased by pirates, like in space, don't have your kid on your lap. Like I know it looks good and cute, but whack him up in his seat while you're fighting for your life.
Mm-hmm.
The lap.
Oh, so I have a question. Okay, so when, by the way, you want to talk about not being safe? He's taking a nap in the hyperspace lane or whatever. He's all sleeping, right? And Grogu's opening his third eye or whatever. Were those space whales?
Yeah, Purgle.
Yeah, so that's a little tie-in to stuff coming up for sure, like a little visual nod.
That was that got a shot out of me. That was quite beautiful. Like I'm not like the biggest pergola.
Me neither, but when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, be damned!"
But it was quite delightful. It was quite delightful. All right, let's. I'm just going to see if I can go back a little bit and find some more comments. Jackson says, "I thought it was a bit messy. I still feel the aftermath, the weird Book of Boba Fett undo situation."
Mm-hmm.
He thought the opening scene looked so cheap.
I don't know, man. See, I mean, listen, everybody's mileage is going to vary, right? Like from the get-go, Steele and I have like a different, like, listen, I've got my own problems with the Book of Boba Fett. We don't need to get into it. But like that one doesn't bother me as much as other stuff. So like it just depends on your perspective, I think. And I get it.
What? You've got some problems with the Book of Boba Fett?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you think you've got problems, take a look.
Should take a look for real, Rick. I hear you, man. That's what I'm going to start saying from now on.
Take a look.
Take a look. Hanging with Liam in Prague.
Oh, Prague. Wow. What else have we got? James. Yeah, I just on the looking at cheap, whatever. I did watch a bit of Jurassic Park Dominion on the plane.
Oh, that's the newest one?
Yeah, that's the Disney. This is what we wanted. Jurassic Park.
Oh, were they all? So it's not the one where they're like selling dinosaurs at auctions. Was it the one?
Nah, that was back. That was a couple back, I think.
Okay.
No, this is when they got everyone back.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, and they all have their little scene. It's full on. Like they're continually breaking off into different couples to have their
scenes together to resolve stuff from the previous.
No, no, but it's like, it's the two scientists together, and then they all have their. It's a whole thing. It's very fan servicey. But I didn't think the dinosaur, especially because it was daytime, looked that different in quality.
I didn't think so. I mean, love that alien, the pirate leader that looked like Swamp Thing. That's a cool physical alien.
When I first saw him, I was just like, "What is this?" Then I was just like, "It's so wild. I have to love it." Like,
and dude, listen, like I I'm on record as loving Andor, thinking it was phenomenal. But it's neat to see all these aliens again, man. Not a lot of aliens in Andor, so like, I kind of popped for all of them. Even the Mon Cal, the new droid, the gold droid that was hanging out with Grief. I like that too.
James also says, I feel pretty similarly to Steele and Leighton, especially since they're trying to set me up like I should be excited about IG-11 coming back when he had that amazing end in season 1. It did all seem very like reheated.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And
like,
I'll tell you, so did you watch the preview, like the recap? When it started with IG-11, I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I was like, all right. Okay, all right. I guess this is where we're going.
Was Luke Skywalker in the previously in?
Nope. Neither was Boba Fett. Don't forget. You know what it'll be? I don't know if Luke will show up this season. He probably will. Yeah, I don't know. Like when it started with that, because that was a big thing back in the day, right? Like on Lost. The previously on Lost would catch you up on characters and situations that would pertain to the episode coming up.
And you'd know what's coming.
Oh, this is going to be a Jack episode or a Locke episode, right? Like.
Leighton is right. It seems like a weird place to have a ceremony. And but they're idiot. Like that's the least of their problems. Like you think these guys have got problems. The whole mask keeping on thing. Like 0 buys. I felt bad for that kid.
Yeah, because did you hear the sound that helmet made when it? So it would. Whoop, and like,
did it? It did. Yeah. It did the old Vader suction cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a very important lesson for any Celebration cosplayers.
Listen, it has not been a good week for water creature-related incidents in Florida. I'll say.
Oh, hasn't it?
Yeah, old lady got eaten by an alligator.
Oh, dude!
I think they were reshooting scenes for this episode.
Oof. I'm a fan of Seaweed Face, says Turb.
Mm-hmm.
Space Battle was great. James says there's a real problem with Grogu having little to no agency or character development in these shows.
Yeah, and some
he
ways
spent a whole year working on chair spinning. Trust me, the chair spinning thing they learn instantly. It takes little to know.
Crap. What was I gonna say? I'll remember it.
Modern Sketches says love Blue Harvest.
Thanks, buddy.
But always great to actually see Hawes.
Hey, man, you should send in a voicemail to Blue Harvest. We'd be glad to have you.
Paul Murphy says it's like expecting a burger to be a steak, or is the steak of Star Wars. In my opinion, they're just totally different.
They are. I mean, there's no doubt about it, but that's exciting to me, right? That we can wrap up, the really serious, amazing Andor, and then now we get the super comic booky version of Star Wars. And buddy, the minute it opened and there was like more than 2 Mandalorians on scene, I was like, well, here, cool. We're back. Here we go.
Yeah, I think they're meant to like hit different like emotions in your
100%.
And I always say, it's not the deepest thought, but Andor was a like novel Star Wars, and Mandalorian is comic book Star Wars.
Perfect.
And and it's more how you use that platform. And like up until season 2 of Mando, I found I would find both like as enriching, but on different, one
right.
to my one to my brain, one to my heart, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, You could still say that about season 2 of Mando. It was Book of Boba Fett that threw the wrench in.
No, but I can never watch that like the finale and like I'm not. It's not going to hit me the same. Right. I don't mean the Luke thing. I mean the actual separation of Din and Grogu.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I'm never like I'm. It's going to be like bittersweet.
I get it, man. Trust me.
And yeah, and so to answer your question, Paul, hey, hit me with a burger or a steak. They're both so good.
You think you got problems?
Yeah.
Take a look.
That burger's got problems. Roy Beasley says Hawes is looking great.
Thanks, Roy. Appreciate you, buddy.
James Waterman says, so Bo was just sitting there splayed out on that throne doing nothing, no smartphone, just chilling in a big empty castle on a throne, waiting for people to randomly stop on their way to get droid parts.
She was like, you want to see dramatic? Wait till you see how I spend my day. You think you got problems?
She needed to have one of those like Jabba pipes or something.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah, for real.
It definitely looked. It's 420 somewhere on Mandalore when she walked in.
Man.
Oh, actually, speaking of 420, what about what's Grief Karga's? What's his title now?
Magistrate.
Yeah, but then he goes
High Magistrate.
High Magistrate. It's like, yeah, 420, buddy. Woo!
Yeah, like, so you would have to imagine like Bo-Katan, like she's got some kind of fancy castle, and she's like, oh,
why is there so many comments? This lighting system of yours, Hawes, is
buddy. It's probably because they thought before seeing me, they were like, I bet you he looks like a monster.
Paul Murphy says, agree still. Either way, as Star Wars fans, we are eating well. David McKay says, hi, Magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
Modern Sketches says, I liked her just hanging out. If it was real life, I feel like she'd just be watching TV and drinking, pouting, and feeling sorry for herself. Now, like, in a robot chicken type of way, it's ridiculous that she's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Star Wars, so it's
like
you can't review why people are just doing all that stuff.
So she's hanging out in a castle, and then like every day she gets up and like she knows she's just gonna be hanging out in the castle with her Mandalorian droid, and she's like, I'm gonna put the armor on, at least.
Like, and again, you can visual guide it and say she knew,
saw that he was coming. Like,
yeah, so she went and sat there.
Yeah.
So chill out, David. Just sitting there in full armor. July through November says depressing season premiere. Why does this keep happening? This was as boring and flat as Book of Boba Fett. Pause.
Once again, me and old July through November have different issues with the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know, man. I didn't find it boring. Like, once again, I was kind of just happy to be back with these characters in this little section of the Star Wars universe. I thought it was well directed. Like, I don't know. I dug it.
Yeah, I thought, like, based on its sort of own merits, it was good. Mm-hmm. But there's no repercussions from the finale.
Right.
It's like it's almost if it didn't happen.
I see what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? There's nothing happened in the episode.
No, it was just kind of setting up the rest of the episodes. Honestly, I kind of thought this episode was just going to be the episode of him getting the band back together, right? He's trying to get IG-11. He's like, hey, I'm going to go see that pretty Mandalorian lady, see what she's doing. But yeah, I mean, it was a setup episode 100%. I just enjoyed the setup.
I would say the vibe I did get from the tweets was the second episode was a real banger.
Oh, really?
Because they showed 2 episodes at the premiere.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I think it was Jermaine, who's he's a pretty excited Star Wars fan. But he did say, like, it was something like, oh yeah, this is it, or something like, it was something like it satisfied a primal urge of his, it seems. So that's exciting.
Yeah, listen, man, I'm along for the ride, right? Like, it's the Mandalorian. There's gonna be multiple somethings crazy that happen this year, right? We know that. Like, that's sort of the realm of Star Wars this resides in, is, the crazy reveal, the big sort of fan servicey moment. Those are gonna happen. Absolutely, those are gonna happen. I just don't know what what those could end up being. Like with season 2 of Mandalorian, be honest with me, when his quest was to think back, like to get Grogu to the Jedi, right? It had to be, because it was mine. It was in the back of my head somewhere going like, well, it could be Luke. I mean, would they do that? I don't know that they would do that.
Wait, can you say that again?
Like, when the initial premise of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So at any point, like with that being the premise of season 2, was it in your head that like they could do Luke? I mean, it was in mine, but I didn't necessarily think it was.
Well,
likely.
I was predicting Luke as a joke.
That's right. That's right.
And then it happened. So, yeah, I don't know what I should do now. I would like Toro back.
Listen, I'm not going to say it's not possible at this point, bro. There was a third of a Black Series figure left of IG-11, and they're working on figuring that out.
Yeah. The pirate bit I loved, with the line where I thought they were going to be a bit more good natured about it, because he did have a good line, that main pirate, where he goes, well, that explains why they won't let us in.
Like, when he's talking about like we don't drink here anymore. This is a school. Yeah.
But then he had to be a real dick about it. But that was like a really good like tense little moment that I quite enjoyed.
I felt like the director and Carl Weathers both, and at this point I have to think it was intentional because of how much it reminded me of it, but I got heavy Lando and Empire Strikes Back vibes from Grief, without like betraying him, but like, when Lando's giving Han the tour and he's like, yeah, this is what I'm doing now.
No, dude, I could almost hear that music come in.
I know, me too.
Like that little like happy Cloud City, like like James Waterman says, dude really wanted a drink in that school. And,
man.
You gotta, if you want to drink in a school, you gotta wait till after dark. Every teenager knows that.
There's a story we need the backstory of someday. That's the flashback we need. Jackson
says, annoyed that a spoiler-free tweet already ruined episode 2 for me.
Oh no.
Oh. Can you ask them to take it down so I don't see it?
Yeah, I don't want to see it either.
Come on, Jackson. Take one for the team, buddy. Take one for the team.
So I kind of think, by the way, that this, like, I kind of already see the path forward for Boba showing up in this season. And I think it will be...
God, here we go.
No, I legitimately think it'll be Din probably going to be like, hey, you want to help me with this whole Mandalore thing? Boba will say no. But because I think he will be, well, we know he's going to take.
He'll go to him and he'll say no.
I'm telling you, man, I know how my luck with this Boba Fett stuff has been.
Dude.
And then he'll die off screen. No, I'm just kidding about that.
Modern Sketches says, I'm hoping Arm Guy makes a reappearance. Who is Arm Guy?
Arm Guy.
Who is Arm Guy in Modern Sketches?
That's a good question. I wonder if we'll have a Blue Jeans guy slip up this year.
Nah. Some good background work, though. Some little village shoppers. Enjoyed that. Having a good time. Johnny G, not Grasso, says, when we wait 2 years, 30 minutes seems too short.
Now, I agree with that. Like, it felt like it was 12 minutes long, right? Like, it went by so quickly.
Oh, Arm Guy is Blue Jeans Guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sort of, at the end, when they went, like that scene was about to end, I'm like, is this going to be the end of the episode? It's sort of like...
It snuck up on you, right? Like, it kind of feels, because he's making the proclamation again that he's going to go to Mandalore, right?
Yeah. I didn't find it that, like... It was sort of like, the end was sort of like, it's the end. Okay.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to the armorer in this episode, like when she has her scene with him, right?
The cult leader.
Yeah. And she's like, he's trying to tell her, like, like Mandalore, I think we can go there. And he's like, so you're telling me go there and prove it. And the way she says, this is the way, you can almost hear the smirk on her face when she says it. Real good. I liked that part.
You know, I called that the actress out about that Emily Swallow. I called her out to her face.
Oh, that's right. At Celebration last year.
About my issues with the armorer. She talked her way out of it, though. Armorer, yep, wants him to have a bath. Oh, there was one little... This is such a nitpick.
I knew one was coming. I saw the look in your eyes when you started to bring it up. I was like, all right, I know what's coming here. I don't know the specific thing, but I know the vibe.
So someone went to this, like, dead planet into this forbidden zone that's going to be the climax of the series, maybe. Who knows with these two crackpots. But, he gets a relic with some text from this place and then just trades it to a Jawa.
Yeah, so...
Like, that is such a nitpick, but it's just with going for their references, it's just like, you went a bit hard, buddy.
Now, like, hold up. Maybe the Jawas had something really cool to trade, right? Like,
why would they want a stone with some... Like, they want mechanical stuff.
Because it's shiny. I don't know, but I'm working here. Work with me here, man.
I'm not here to... It's a nitpick. I'm not here to have it diffused. I'll defend it to death, Hawes.
Fair enough. I get you, buddy.
James Waterman. I think I remember a quip where he essentially tricks Rosario Dawson into admitting she's seen the ghost. Devious.
I remember that too.
Oops. I take offense at that. Steele's Gotcha Star Wars journalism is unparalleled. That's not true. I once got someone to admit to me in conversation that there definitely was a Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker scene in The Force Awakens that got cut.
And this was, I'm assuming, before like the leaked pictures of the guy in the costume came out.
It was like a month into, like, when it came out.
Wow. So we're talking early 2016.
Yes. And yeah,
Well, listen, if you go to Celebration this year, I need you to use those skills to maybe coerce some information about a potential Book of Boba Fett.
It looks very unlikely I'll be going to Celebration this year.
Oh, I'm certainly not, but you know.
Ronan says the way Rick Famuyiwa shot the asteroid space battle was wizard.
I thought it was so good. I like their
it was good.
The pirates' little ships, like their little starfighters. I thought those were cool. A cool design.
The when they came around and there was like the full battleship.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm leading them right to you, boss."
And all the little like things come out. That was pretty sick. But yeah, just like it's thing like that. Having Grogu on the lap, I couldn't buy into the space battle because they weren't taking it seriously.
So let me ask you, do we know that he can like put Grogu in and out of that back seat?
Yeah, he came under. He did it in the show.
Oh, yep, you're right. You're right.
He came under,
okay.
Which made me wonder, like, did R2 ever do that to Anakin? Could R2 come under and stick his head? And then there was like, they don't really show it, but it appears like he can drop down into his crib and come out the droid exit chute.
Oh, that's a cool little feature.
Yeah, well, they sort of like, you don't get to see it, but he puts his head down and then sort of the little pods underneath.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's got to be a feature on the eventual vehicle.
July through November says Grogu should not be back, and like what, like he just didn't make a difference to the episode. Like he was there and he was cute and he was entertaining.
Mm-hmm. But otherwise he didn't have a lot of input plot wise. Absolutely not. No,
like he didn't differ the path.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ronan says, bummer, it's very unlikely I won't be seeing you in London. Steele was hoping to hang out with my fellow Star Wars fans across the pond. Ronan Unchained. Hey, there's tons. Lindo's going. Mm-hmm. Brittany Brown. Mm-hmm. Boo. That's an all-star cast.
Chapman.
Details will be there. It's going to be sick. Board of directors want him back. Says July through November. It does seem like Jon Favreau can't imagine the show without them together, or someone higher up has convinced him of that. But
so,
and that's my whole frustration. Is like,
yeah,
if you can't do it, don't write it.
So this is what I think. Like, I think both are very possible. I do wonder, like, would it line? Because we know now, right, that Book of Boba Fett started shooting before Mandalorian season 2 started releasing, right? Like they started shooting around that time. Because remember, everybody was like, "Oh, I think they're shooting season 3 of Mandalorian already," and it turned out to be Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if the timing for that kind of decision of like, hey, we need you to undo the finale. You know what I mean? I don't know if that necessarily lines up for it to be a board of directors situation. But if it was, it would make a lot of sense because Grogu was very clearly one of the biggest like Disney era Star Wars successes, right?
Here's the thing with that is, like, I know with movies, like with Star Wars movies, they have to pitch the idea. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it is like
so what? So you're wondering, like, maybe he pitched the idea and they were like, "Look, you can do it, but you got to undo it."
Yeah, but maybe he thought that as well.
Right.
Like maybe that's a whole thing of like, oh, we can do this extra series and then we can reset it for that. Oh, and I do, like, in retrospect, it definitely should have been called The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett. Like, like, or just advertise that, like Secrets is the worst promotion. Like, just
Did
say
you notice?
they're gonna be in it. Put their heads on the billboard. Like,
Did you see? Like, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this when you signed into Disney Plus today. Like in the Star Wars section, it has its own dedicated Mandalorian sort of universe section now. Obviously, it's only got the 2 shows in it now, but I did notice that they, right on the top of the page, they were like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. Like,
but yeah, just if they like. Because people, what's that thing called? The Mandela effect, where you imagine what things happened.
Like the Berenstain Bears or Berenstain Bears.
I couldn't care. But yes, like that.
Yeah.
But people imagine that it says like the Mandalorian saga continues in the Book of Boba Fett. It says, no. It just said the Book of Boba Fett coming whenever.
You mean in the final credits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about it. It just says.
No, I went back and looked because someone said to me, like, oh, you're making out. They didn't say, like, the Mandalorian saga continues in the Book of Boba Fett. I was
literally just about to pull it up and look, too.
Yeah, but, like, it's just, like, the marketing of secrecy. Like, I just think, like, if they had actually said in the promotion for the Book of Boba Fett, and not just in interviews, but you got to put the heads. Like, if you've got your 2 biggest stars of the entire streaming service, they're going to appear in this show. Like, whack them up there on the billboard. Like, it's sort of to what gain?
Right, and then think about in the end of 2021, right before Book of Boba Fett started, right? Think of the promotion leading up to that, and imagine we get an image of a billboard that has Din and Grogu on it. Like, can you imagine how fun that process would be of trying to unpack with your friends or on social media or whatever? Like, well, if they're on the poster or they're on the billboard, they're going to show up. I think Din Djarin showing up in Book of Boba Fett made sense regardless for that tie-in reason. But
instead, we were waiting for our Empire Strikes Back flashback,
or a Sarlacc pit flashback, or an entire 7 episodes devoted to the title character. You know, let's get crazy here, right? Not trying to sound nutty here, but I kind of figured, you know, Boba Fett finally gets his own shot, and they're like, I don't know about those 2.
James Waterman says the Ajax Citizen category on Disney Plus was an interesting addition too. That's
it's only got 2 things. It's got a couple of episodes of Kenobi and Avatar. That's the only thing in the section.
Avatar?
Yeah, because your profile on Disney Plus is a Navi.
Ah, yeah. That's not a reference that many people are going to get, buddy.
Nope.
All right. Well, Star Wars. It occurred. How about that Bad Batch episode, Hawes?
I thought it was. Didn't watch it yet.
Okay.
I'm going to. I'm probably going to go to bed now because it's almost 4 a.m., but I'll watch it in the morning.
What a trooper. It's almost 9 p.m. here, and boy, am I shot.
It is great to have Star Wars back. Like, so answer this for me, Steele. Given, and once again, like, I think your complaints or anybody in chat that had the same complaints or similar complaints to you are completely valid, right?
Oh, dude, anyone at any point that has the same complaints as me is valid. Trust me.
Well, right, but I'm saying, like, you know, I totally get it. It doesn't bother me as much as it does other people. Your mileage may vary. Are you looking forward to the next episode?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then it's good to be back. It's good to have some fun Star Wars.
Yeah, like I had fun, but I'm not like season 2 was just like I was in.
Well, listen, did I leave this episode as excited as I was after the season premiere of season 2, right? Where not Cad Bane, what's that boy's name?
Cobb
Cobb Vanth and Din team up to fight a crate dragon? No. Am I as excited to see the next episode as I was after the season 1 premiere where they, revealed a baby Yoda? Mm-mm. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm like, it's live action Star Wars.
Exactly.
So, I would be fascinated to see what happens to the stats on the Bad Batch, and then how
they're affected. Or what the most fascinating stat for me would be, besides just overall which had the most views, the time of day that the views came from for both, because I think you would see a very heavy
yeah. I just wonder if
because people are going to be watching it all throughout the day.
Yeah, I'm not so interested in that, but just do a third of the people just stop watching.
Oh yeah, to see how the viewership drops for the last third of Bad Batch or whatever.
Yeah, just it's they're sort of I know in the fan bubble it's hard to imagine, but some people might be I got my Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I am set. All right, I think we've covered it pretty much. I am looking forward to next week, especially when I think about the non-spoiler excitement tweets.
Yeah,
I got about it.
I didn't even know about those.
Yeah, I'm bummed someone actually got a bit too literal to ruin the.
It always happens.
The next one for someone that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta. I don't know. You gotta think through the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But Hawes, would you like to let the good people of the internet know where they can listen to your podcast?
Yeah, it's Blue Harvest. I do it with my buddy Will. Still has been on it a bunch of times. And you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can go to blueharvest.rocks. That's our website. It's got links to all that, including the Twitch channel. So if you want to come hang out with me on one of my streams, you can find it all there.
Excellent. And we'll either be doing this or the Hawes calls on the Patreon side of things.
Mm-hmm. Now listen, buddy. The next 2 weeks I can't stay up late and watch them because I have stuff going on the Wednesday after. But after that, if you want to do late night like this, right after it airs, I'm down. I'll be available.
Yeah, I'll see how I go with where I am on the planet.
Yeah, because if you're home, I know it's a little harder to record that late because of Harry, right?
Yeah. But either way, on the Patreon, we'll do the phone call episodes the next day. So that's about it, I guess. The algorithm, it's there. Mm-hmm. Use it, abuse it.
Subscribe,
really
bell
tuck
notification.
In.
Mm-hmm.
But it's late for old Hawes. So I think this episode's gone on
long enough.
And I can't say enough about Toro in The Offer. He's great. He's the best. Have you seen it?
No. What is this we're talking about?
Jake Carnival's in The Offer. The show about The Offer is like a very fictionalized version of how they made The Godfather.
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that. You know what? By the way, I just have to say it real quick because I've been wanting to ask you, what do you think about that movie Air, the Ben Affleck movie about the creation of the Jordan sneakers? That's got to be fascinating to you, right?
Yeah, I've read Phil Knight's autobiography, and it is very interesting.
Right.
So yeah, I'll be keen to see that one.
Me too.
But
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, this Offer show. It's
And where can I watch The Offer? Is it HBO?
No, Paramount.
Oh, sweet! I get Paramount Plus for free through my work. I'll check it out.
But it's like the thing about it. Two of the executive producers. One the guys who's it's the character the main character in the show, the guy that plays him and the guy it's based on, both of those guys are executive producers.
Ooh, yeah,
and it's like this dude's like John Cena in it. He just never. He's always the best dude ever. And then so now I'm like obsessed with like reading
the real
debunks
story
of like each episode. It's amazing. But Toro Calican, Jake Carnival, is one of the mobsters offsiders. And every time he steps into the scene, I go to Jackie. I'm like, Toro Calican. I'm like, oh no, I just go Toro, and like she has no idea who it is. Like she's forgotten the character.
Oh right.
But I just every time he comes on, I'm so excited, and he's quite good in it.
So do they have somebody playing Francis Ford Coppola in that movie?
Yeah, that guy Fogler, Dan Fogler, Kyle Newman's mate.
Yeah, the guy I was about to ask, the guy that was in Fanboys. That's
yeah.
Cast for Scorsese. Interesting.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
Coppola,
I think that guy's funny.
I don't know.
Coppola,
I reckon.
yeah.
I reckon you could have pulled it off actually at the moment, Hawes.
Oh, really?
You got a bit of a Coppola-esque beard going.
Yep. All right. Yeah.
He liked headphones. He listened to Tool.
Maybe. While he's, working in his vineyard or whatever.
Squeezing those grapes.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of maybe like a Rammstein. Listen when you're mashing the grapes. Rammstein would be a great band to listen to. Like while you're stomping on them. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get audio copyright striked because that was so spot on.
Ooh, watch out, buddy. You'll just have to mute that section of the
yeah, story. I guess. Jackson says thanks. I say thanks, and may that force be with you.
See you guys.